Nicola Bakes. Today I'm going to show you how to pipe professional looking icing swirls on top of cupcakes. Now this is what I get asked how to do more than anything else, so I thought I'd show you guys how to do it today because it really couldn't be any easier. What you're going to need are some cupcakes or fairy cakes or whatever, some buttercream icing in whatever colour or flavour floats your boat. I've done mine pink just for kicks. You're also going to need a piping bag and a star-shaped nozzle, like that. Now this is really the key for creating professional looking swirls. And what you've got to make sure is that your star-shaped nozzle is quite large. Where a lot of people get stuck is that in these kind of like beginner's icing kits or beginner's cupcake kits that you get for Christmas, they often give you a huge array of different shaped nozzles, but they're all tiny and they don't really produce the effect that you're going to want. So I'll invest in one of these. I got mine from Lakelands, I think, but I'm sure you can get them from other shops, and I'm sure that you can find them somewhere online. Right, so these are your tools you need. All the rest is just really basic technique. So to start off, we should put our buttercream icing into our piping bag. Now the best way to do this is to hold the nozzle like that in your hand, and then you need to kind of fold over the piping bag, sort of over your hand, still holding onto the nozzle, sort of inside out like that. And then get a dollop of buttercream icing, like that. Put it on the piping bag, and then slowly bring the piping bag back up your hand, like that. And then lift the wooden spoon out. And there we go. Now what this ensures is that when you put the icing into the piping bag, it immediately goes quite near the nozzle. If you put the icing near the top and squeeze it all the way down, you're going to get a lot of air trapped, and that's really not what you want. Okay, so now we're ready to pipe our cupcakes. Now the first kind of cupcake swirl I'm going to teach you how to do is the classic swirl that you see on most bakery bought and shop bought cupcakes, and it's the kind of swirl that kind of ascends like that from the outside to the middle of the cupcake. So what you need to do is get your piping bag, and you need to start piping just on the very outside of the cupcake. So start applying pressure and squeeze your buttercream out, like that, and gently draw out the swirl around the outside of the cake. Just like that. Then as you reach the join, start piping just about ½ centimetre on top of the icing you've already done, and slowly bring it towards the centre of the cake. And keep going around, and as you keep going around and piping on top of the icing you've already done, you see sort of creating a tower. Then as you reach the centre, just sharply pull up your piping bag, and there we are. You get that perfect shop-bought kind of swirl. So the second technique I'm going to show you is different in that it's quite a flat kind of a swirl, and a lot of people say that it looks like the top of a rose when it's done. I actually prefer this technique because I think it's a lot more pleasant to actually eat, because it's more of an even spread of buttercream over the entire cake, so you don't get that kind of massive clump of icing in the middle, which I think you actually have to have quite a sweet tooth to manage. So for this technique, you need to start piping in the middle of the cake, like that, and then start your swirl around the centre. For this technique, make sure you don't start piling icing on top of what you've already done, because what you're after this time is a more flat effect. So just keep piping around to the edge, and instead of sharply pulling up with this technique, to finish you need to just stop applying pressure to the bag and slowly drag it out like that. As you can see, that kind of looks like the top of a rose, which I think is kind of cool. Okay, so there you have it, 2 really professional looking piped cupcakes. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you again really soon.